you doing? It's me back again, Analog Attack. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thought I'd do a part two of the CD episode that I did a couple of weeks ago. Analog Attack CD Attack. I've got a bunch of CDs that I've bought. I think all of them, once again, come from Disc Union Records in Osaka. They're all pretty cheap. Yeah, so let's dive straight into it, shall we? It's mostly sort of metal today, really. But let's start off with some Doom. It's a band I've talked about before, actually. When I did the Doom episode with Chris, we talked about this band. Talking about the Reverend Bizarre. This is their EP, Harbinger of Metal. It's 70 minutes long, and they call it an EP. What we've got here? Yes, So Long Suckers, which is their final album. I used to have these on vinyl. I don't anymore, so it's kind of good to get these back in some shape or form. Actually, you know what? I think this band works better on CD. I mean, how many times did I ever get to like side 6 of that album? You know, not too often, but this is their classic, really. Crush the Insects. And then this is In the Rectory of the Reverend Bizarre. Really important band in the sort of development of doom metal, I would say. No stoner at all. Very sort of traditional doom metal. This is a band I never heard before, and this really blew me away, actually. The band is called Sorrow. I think they're sort of 90s band. I think New York band. This is a Japanese pressing on FEMS, Far East Metal Syndicate. It has their EP as bonus tracks. This is really great, sort of old school death doom, a little bit of early Cathedral in there. Really, really great band. Sorrow and Hatred and Disgust is the name of their album. I think they only did one EP and one album, maybe a demo or something like that. Kind of similar territory, maybe a bit more traditional, but American band again. Revelation. Picked up a couple of theirs. I think this one is supposed to be one of their classics. Never Comes Silence. This came out on maybe Candlelight. I'm not sure. Can't see it. It says this one is. Oh, this is an enhanced CD. Wow, I haven't seen one of them for a while. It's got a live show from 1993, and then some like TV show footage on there as well. Wow, I'll have to check that out, but I can't play it. I haven't got anything to play in. And then this one, Yet So Far, which is a little bit of a later one. I think this came out 2009 on Shadow Kingdom Records. So Revelation, also an important band for like American doom metal, I would say. As are this band, Solitude Eternus. This is a reissue double CD of their first 2 albums, Into the Depths of Sorrow and Beyond the Crimson Horizon. I've not heard either of these yet. I'm really excited to dig into them. I've got 4 other of their records, that maybe the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th albums I think I've got. So I'm really looking forward to how they all sound in on their first couple of records there. Great band. This is another one that I used to have on vinyl. Don't have it anymore. So My Dying Bride on Peaceful Records. Like Gods of the Sun. I don't know. How many sort of My Dying Bride records or albums do I need? I think this is a pretty good one though. So, well, I know it's a good one because I used to have it, but yeah, it's good to get this back. Well, at least on CD. And then going back to the Solitude Eternus, I love the vocalist in that band, Rob Lowe. I believe, yes, Robert Lowe. Here he is. He was also the vocalist for a few albums with Candlemass. So I've been trying to pick up any Candlemass albums that have Robert Lowe on vocal, because I think they're great. I don't know if this is a like a controversial opinion or not, but he's really my favourite Candlemass vocalist. I think he's great. I think he fits the band really, really well. I think the albums that they've done with him, that I've heard at least, I haven't played this one yet, I just found them to be really, really enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to checking this out sometime soon when I get through the pile. So that's the sort of doom side of things. Let's move on to some sort of heavier stuff, some heavier metal. Let's start off in Greece, shall we? This is the third LP by this band, and according to my sources, this is their masterpiece. Of course, talking about Rotting Christ, the Triarchy of the Lost Lovers. Does everybody rate this one? A lot of people have said this is the one to get. I've never ever seen it before, either on vinyl or on CD. Last week or a couple of weeks ago, it was sat there in the shop, and I think this is sort of the original CD from whenever it came out. So that's pretty cool to get. Looking forward to listening to this. I think this is sort of straightforward black metal, I'm guessing. And I picked up a couple from their sort of later years, which a lot of people I know aren't too keen on. I like it. Much more commercial, gothic, huge productions on these records, and I think they sort of gained quite a bit of popularity going forward. I'm not sure which order these came out in, but this is Ialo on Season of Mist Records. Another one, I used to have this on vinyl as well, and then one I've never owned before at all, I've never heard before. This one. There you go. This is on Season of Mist 2. There you go. A visualistic grandeur worthy of Ridley Scott that prizes open vast chasms, both ancient and new, said Metal Hammer about this album. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this one out too. Now, more of a sort of traditional heavy metal thing. This is a kind of big thing, isn't it? Well, recently, sort of the new wave of traditional heavy metal. I've been checking out quite a few bands from that genre. It's hit or miss. This one is definitely a hit. It's got Tom Sutton in the band, who played in Church of Misery for a bit. He was living in Japan for a bit, I think. But he has this other band called Night Viper. This is really good, really enjoyable. The new wave of traditional heavy metal. A great female singer who's Swedish, I believe. I think they have one more album as well as this one. Really enjoy. I played this on Friday night after a few beers and was really having a good time with it. So that's Night Viper, and this is slightly newer. This is a face melter. I listened to it on YouTube once and went out and I managed to find it on CD. But this band is called Solicitor. Their album is called Spectral Devastation. Again, another band with a female vocalist. This is sort of more aggressive than the Night Viper. The Night Viper. Some more kind of thrash elements in there. Fantastic record, really, really good. Solicitor, Spectral Devastation. This is one, I used to have this one on vinyl too, and I kind of rebought it, but I'm not sure if it was a good decision. In fact, the next few of these, I'm not sure how this is going to go. Amorphis, Tales from the Thousand Lakes on Relapse Records. This is kind of considered a bit of a classic. I remember not being like super keen on it when I had the vinyl. So I'm going to have to sort of revisit this one. Finnish death doom band who really changed style, didn't they, going forward? Sort of a lot of progressive rock influences and stuff. I'm not too keen on what I've heard from the sort of newer era of the band. And then another band that sort of, like some of these bands tend to do, they start off like Catatonia, for example. They sort of start off death metal and quite quickly sort of change their styles. So I'm talking about Tiamat here. I think this is their first album, Sumerian Cry. I had a choice with this, I've got to tell you. I could have either got this sort of old CD, or I could have got the Back on Black vinyl reissue, and they were both about the same price, but I sort of decided to go with the CD version instead. I believe this is sort of old school death metal. And then from what I gather, they changed style pretty quickly. All this sort of progressive rock and stuff and other influences came in. But I couldn't resist picking up these two. This one, I love the artwork on it. This one is their album called Clouds on Century Media. And the next one, I don't like the artwork at all. You can see that they've got no logo anymore. It's just this like lettering. And this is A Deeper Kind of Slumber. Bit nervous about this one, but we'll see. This has got some bonus tracks on it too, so I guess this is some kind of reissue. So yeah, let's see how I get on with Tiamat, shall we? Oh, one more. This is one that it was like 100 yen or 150 yen or something like that. It's the older Thorns and Emperor split. Thorns are a really interesting band, weren't they? The black metal, but kind of very original sounding. I guess this is a recent reissue on Peaceville. It's got the nice sort of rounded case there. So yeah, this is a good record. Okay, let's move on to the sort of stoner rock ballpark. Now, this band is what I call sort of like stadium stoner rock. Very commercial, a little bit poppy. It's not very dangerous, not super heavy, but at the same time, really enjoyable to listen to after a few beers after work. I'm talking about the Quill, Swedish band, going back about 20 years or so. And I picked up 3 of their albums. I don't really know much about the band. I remember I've talked about this before, but I used to tune into stonerrock.com, and I remember definitely downloading a few of their very low quality MP3s back in the day. But I think this might be a bit of a later one. Good looking album though. This one's called Voodoo Caravan. Ooh, you can't get much more kind of stoner rocky than that. And this one has a weird title, Hooray, It's a Death Trip, which I've read some good reviews of. And then In Triumph. This has got, another one that's got like a video clip on it. So yeah, this is from 2006. As I said, I'm sort of a bit familiar with this band, but I haven't sort of dived deep into any of these albums before, so looking forward to those. This is a band that I am familiar with and love, and a Swedish band, a bit of a more current band. I think they might have broken up though. One of those sort of stonery, doomy bands, but sort of very catchy, a lot of hard rock in there. Talking about Horizont. I'm really happy to get this one. Second Assault. Again, I've not heard this album, but I love all the other records that I've got by them, so I'm super happy to get this one. Second Assault, I'm assuming it's the second album. And then this one, which I couldn't find either for ages, and I finally did, Odyssey. This is a Japanese pressing on Trooper Entertainment. Yeah, it's got a bonus track on it. And I posted this one on a couple of music groups last week, and people said this is like one of their best albums. So, of course, I'm really looking forward to delving into this during the week. Horizont and Odyssey. This is also in the stoner rock ballpark, but it's very dirty and down low and huge grooves to this band. Dave Sherman is the main guy in this band. I think they were on Southern Lord. Yeah, they were in that era when Southern Lord was putting out a lot of stoner doom, like Goatsnake and stuff like that. Talking about Earth Ride. There we go. Ooh, look at that big glare. So I picked up a couple of their albums, Vampire Circus and The Taming of the Demons. I'm a bit familiar with this band. I've listened to I think this one on YouTube before. It's really, as I said, really groove-laden, sort of down and dirty stoner doom from the States. And going back to Sweden, this is a great band in that same ballpark as Horizont and Witchcraft and Graveyard. I'm talking about Troubled Horse, and if I'm not mistaken, like, this band has half or almost every member of the old early Witchcraft lineup, and they sort of tread similar ground, but I think this album is like better than those second or third and fourth Witchcraft albums. So if you like Witchcraft and you've sort of never heard Troubled Horse, check them out. They've got some other albums too. This one's called Step Inside, and it's on the magnificent Rise Above Records, one of my favourite record labels of all time. Troubled Horse. And ended up with a sort of familiar band. I had to get this. It's some sort of Japanese, like, super edition or something like that. It's a Monster Magnet. I've never heard this album before, I don't think. It's God Says No. It was like 200 yen, so I couldn't leave it there. So, yeah, there's a Monster Magnet record that I've never heard before, added to the collection. Cheers, everyone. How you doing? This is not streaming. I'll be uploading this sort of later this week. And then let's go to the last little part here. If you remember, in the last episode, I was talking about Paul Chain. And I think I was saying, I definitely should get some Death SSS stuff. And lo and behold, in Disc Union, they have a little Death SSS section in there, because of course they do. So I picked up 3 CDs. I'm a little bit worried about them, because I've heard varying reports about, as they progress through their career, not so great. But I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to go wrong with this one, which is the story of Death SS from 1977 to 1981. So this has got to be good, right? I'm hoping. And then a couple of their albums proper. Yeah, Jesus. This one. Can't see the title. This is either their second or third album. I'm not sure. I wish I had better eyes. And then this one. Heavy Demons. Actually, this might be the third album, I think. Or second album. This one's got a lot of tracks on it. 16 tracks in total. So, yeah. I'm quite excited to get some Death SSS in the collection. Just hope I've made the right decision with my choices here. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of those 2 Death SS studio albums. And then I've got a few sort of random things that don't fit into any of those piles. This is my first time ever owning anything by Yesu. This is like, I think this is like a double compilation sort of collection. I'm not sure. I saw someone recommending this to me, or not necessarily to me, but recommending it online. So this is, of course, Justin Broadrick from Godflesh's project. This is called Pale Sketches. So I don't think I've even ever heard any Yesu before. I might have done, and I wasn't into it at the time. So let's see how this fares when it gets a listen. And then a band that I've kind of liked for a number of years. Their early singles are great. They kind of change styles going forward through their career, but I thought I'd pick these up because they are a good band. Fucked Up. So I got the Glass Boys album and the Chemistry of Common Life album. They were like 100, 200 yen each. I think, yeah, they were signed to Matador, right, by this point. So they were real big at one point, right? Supporting the Foo Fighters and stuff like that. But I think they're a good band. So that's it. That's all the CDs I've got to show for today. I probably won't be doing another one of these anytime soon. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, stay healthy and stay clean.